What's up? What's up? What's up? So, we're going to continue this Kevin Samuel series. We did part 1. If you haven't checked that out, check that out. Part 1 was can upper class... Was it only upper... Oh, that can only upper class men apply. Now, same group. This is part 2. Men are intimidated by women these days. That is so true. That is so fucking true. I'm definitely intimidated by women. Definitely. And I have to say, my confidence has built better over the years. I've had quite a few women in my life. I would say my body count is... What's my body count? 18, I think. I'm pretty sure it's 18. Yeah, and I lost my virginity when I was 18, 29. So about 11 years, 19 bodies. I don't think that's bad. But yeah, I'm still intimidated by women. Still very much intimidated by women. So let's see what this video is about. We're going to react to it in this video. In the next video, we'll go into a deeper discussion about it. So, let's begin. Oh, I got the spliff.
You don't have to be defensive about it.
I'm not being defensive.
You seem kind of defensive, and I'm just saying. I don't ask you. Okay, what percentage of men do you think earn over $1 million a year?
Less than 10%.
Okay. 10% of men in this country earn $100,000 or more. 10%.
All men.
All men.
Okay.
That's a small number.
Every woman at this table, with the exception of you, but I think you skewed down middle class. What you say is upper class, but you call it middle class. You're all wanting men, at least in the top 10%. All things being equal, what do you think the kind of man you would want from a woman?
What an upper class man would want from a woman.
This is what we discussed.
So he would want her to be able to have some sort of earning
Some sort of what?
potential.
Earning
potential financially, because we're talking about his financial status. So they usually say, "Hey, I don't want a liability and some kids, like you and some kids." So they want to see a woman that can, has the ability to contribute something, if not 50%, some of it.
Okay, so he would want you to make some money.
Yeah.
What else?
Looks.
What do you think? When it comes down to looks, what do you mean?
Just being attractive, not to just him.
Mm-hmm.
Men like to show off their women.
Okay.
So if he's a man of upper class and not just financially, an upper class man, he carries himself,
I think all men care about their women looking good.
Anything else?
Skill in the house. They want to be catered to. Sexual preference.
What do you think?
In the room, in the bedroom.
What do you think? The kind of man you want, what do you think he wants from a woman?
I think that he will want someone who is kind, loyal, someone who's attractive, someone who has something going for themselves, whether that's working for a good company or being an entrepreneur or going to school, just doing something. Someone who also knows how to present themselves to the public.
Something you're passionate about.
What do you think?
The kind of man that I would want, what he would want, someone who's independent, willful, ambitious, charismatic, introverted.
Introverted.
And I would have to say, I don't think I would want a guy that actually.
I mean, maybe you
Care about looks?
Yeah, that cares about looks.
Okay.
I don't always look like this.
What would you think the kind of man you would want from a woman?
I think the kind of man would want from a woman like me, like a genuine partner, like a solid partner, not just somebody that's just there. That makes sense with what he's got going on. Like 2 to 2 make it 4.
What are some things though?
Having a good girl, like a good foundation, good family ideals, good work ethic, great personality, genuine, just kind of
true to who you are.
Okay. Would you be surprised if I told you, all of you ladies, just describe the man? The characteristics you're talking about, you describe men.
Most men are like that.
People.
But you described what the kind of woman the man would want, and you described the woman as a man. Ambition, earning, entrepreneur.
Are women not supposed to have those traits?
Okay. The kind of men that, the number one thing men of value want from a woman is cooperation. Number two is femininity. There's a hierarchy in relationships. These men, when asked what they want from a woman, they want a woman who is happy and comfortable with playing her role because it's important. But
Wait, but you asked
what the kind of what the
we would want. Yeah, you didn't
Okay.
ask me.
okay the kind of I asked you what the kind of man you would want in a woman. Okay, but you described a woman as with masculine traits, and this is what tends to happen. Women tend to look at you look at this called attraction symmetry.
Mine is
Women tend to
introverted. I mean,
look
I
at
feel
men
like both can be introverted
and
or
think
extroverted.
that they would be attracted to what I find attractive. If this is the case, then why do we find, especially in the black community, the more educated a woman is, the more single she is? Why is it that we find across all groups, the more a woman earns, the more single she is? If men want entrepreneur, go-getter, boss chicks.
Intimidation.
It's not intimidation. That's basically, that's making what men want a negative. Men just don't want it. It's not a negative. They just don't want it.
Are you saying it's masculine to be so educated?
Well, it's not a matter of being educated. Women have often gone to college to find a husband, to be educated. It's not a matter of education. It's a matter of what men want. Men don't want partners. They want wives. They don't want, because you said something about skill and earning and all this other stuff, right? But then 10 minutes before that, you don't want to have to be responsible for anything financially, really. So today, many women are going to school to get degrees, putting on all this debt and everything else, which is fine to live a single life. But then when a man comes, all of a sudden it's supposed to change and he's supposed to want this. And this is what we're starting to hear so many women today talk about. The dating market, it sucks. Why can't I find a good man out here? What these men are looking for? And when men start saying what they want, you start hearing that it's, intimidation. No, it's not intimidation. They just don't want it. Not the way you guys think they do. Is that surprising?
No.
The difference between possibility and probability is going to be really important in our conversation tonight as we talk. And also the ability to accept facts, figures, statistics, data. Yeah, because often, it tends to become problematic because we start getting into numbers and things like that. So do you think a woman should tailor her life around the needs of the man she needs?
Of the man that she needs.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you said no. Why not?
I grew up different, so I don't think so. I think a woman should tailor her life around her needs and what she wants. It should never be about the man or meeting a man.
Okay, so you don't need. So you don't need men?
For example, you keep asking about what percentage do you want to take care of in your family. So, and how you explain it, if that person were to leave, you're left with all of it. And if you can't hold that up, now you're in debt. You know what I'm saying? So a woman should tailor herself around taking care of herself, making sure she can support herself. Like she said at first, 100%.
Okay.
She can take care of everything.
Well, okay, but you mentioned not needing a man though. I want to challenge that. 74% of black women in this country earn less than $50,000 a year. 9% earn over $75,000. Unless you're going to earn what two people make, you need a man. Because once you hit retirement age, after you've exhausted whatever you saved, there is no Social Security, there is no safety net, what happens to anybody who can't pay their bills? Once you run out of money, what happens? Welfare. Welfare rolls are limited. So if you were 60, I could pull up stats right now, but if you were like you said, you don't need a man, and you just work and you have a good job, 50 grand is not anything to sneeze at.
Depends on what your expectancy of what my job would be, like why I don't want a man, why I said.
Well, my thing is, are you going to have enough to pay for yourself? Okay, so $2.4 million is what you will need to retire on by age 65. 2.4 million cash, not in stocks, not in investments, cash. You'll have that.
I will have more, 100%.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay, as long as you know you're going to have that. But I talk to women every day who are earning more than a lot of women, but they're far away from that. So this notion of not needing a man, we need each other. And that's what's starting to happen today. The homeless population of women is popping up. Women and children are the largest group of homeless because this whole notion that we don't need one another. All right, that's fine. You can do what you want to, but at some point, these countries aren't set up for individual middle income workers to retire in luxury, to retire and live. They're just not. So why am I saying all that? Because there's a difference between, when I asked you all what you want to be at 50 years old, and I said the clock is ticking. In order to have the security and stability you want, it requires thinking today and planning. Where were any of you guys taught any of that?
I get taught, by the way, my dad is military, very knowledgeable and stuff, so I've learned at a young age, and he teaches me as.
I come from military on both sides. The military doesn't teach that.
No, it's, you know what the military does teach you though? A lot of work ethics.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, how you handle yourself and things like that. And then my father's also, he was an accountant for the military.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to finances, and I grew up with him, I learned with him as well. So
work ethic is good, but competence in this country gets compensated. And the reality is, none of us are taught this stuff. Not in school. We're not taught how to date. We're not taught anything. What are we taught about? Taught about dating and relationships.
I'll tell you, women are taught. I wasn't, but I watched it happen. Women are taught at home first. Women are taught to be wives only, or to be just a mother, when before a little girl even knows what anything is. We're not really taught about relationships. We're kind of groomed to be wives, to be kind of subservient.
Where were you? Okay, were you raised in this country?
Yeah.
You're saying women were taught to be wives and mothers. I'm 52. I haven't seen that.
If you pay attention, they are.
No.
A lot of women, because when women get out into the world.
Okay, no dishes. Hold on. No, and I talk to women every day for the last 2 years. Okay, that's what we can't do. We can't do that just because you don't like what I'm saying.
Well, you don't
hold
like
on. But the difference, you can't. Hold on. No. Time out.
I'm not a child. I don't feel like I should be able to.
Okay. I'm talking about for the video. We can't be over talking one another. And whether you liked it or not, I'm going to have to call breaks. I'm going to have to moderate the discussion.
That's fine.
Okay. So it's not about treating you like a child. I don't know you. It's not that serious.
It's not.
But the point I'm ultimately making is 26% of women in the Black community are married. So to say that women are taught to be wives and mothers when most aren't married, doesn't stand up to the facts.
Marriage, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. And then women are usually groomed as a child to, this is what you do. You find a good man. You gotta do this. Da, 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 da. It's always about finding a good man. Woo, woo, woo. Women aren't really, what I was trying to say was that women aren't really, or people, even boys, aren't really taught specifically about dating or relationships. I feel like people are just kind of groomed to like give them the basic, like find a good man, find a man with a job, and figure it out. And then the men are like, they tell the men, get a job, handle business.
The stereotypes.
Type thing. No one's really taught about relationships. People are kind of groomed to just be the basic.
She's right.
stereotype
She
or
got a point.
anything of what
I
they
agree.
feel like marriage.
So what does work?
I wouldn't be able to tell you.
Well, we have a track record of what works.
And we have a track record.
Okay, I allowed you to speak uninterrupted for about a minute. Okay, I did. I gave you that respect.
You did. I didn't
Okay.
even listen to you talk too. You have respect. Mutual.
Is there an issue here?
All right. A lot of good talking points that we're going to discuss in the next video. Because there's things I disagree with what he said, and there's things I agree with the girls and disagree. So we're going to get into the next video. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. Please comment. Catch you on the next episode. Check it out.